Substance use disorders are common. There's a saying out there that everyone knows someone. It can look like you, and they can also look like me. So if you think someone you know is struggling, reach out. And if you're not sure where to turn to or how to help, I'm here. You can come see me. I'm Jennifer DeWitt, and I'm the Prevention Coordinator for the City of Waterbury Department of Public Health.
We'll call to order the public hearing for Tuesday, June 1st, 2021, regarding the mayor's proposed fiscal year 2022 budget. We'll begin, if everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the silent prayer. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, I got you, okay. Alderman Brunelli,
Present.
Alderwoman Cavallo,
Present.
Alderwoman Cotto, Alderman DiGio Carlo.
Here.
Alderman Dorso.
Here.
Alderman Hunter,
Here.
Alderman Lopez. Alderman Markey.
Here.
Alderman Matthews. Alderman Martinez McCarthy.
Present.
Alderman Nugent.
He's connecting right now.
Okay, all right, we'll get him in. Alderman Salvio.
Present.
Alderwoman Weaver. Alderwoman Weaver. Alderwoman Zimmerman. Alderwoman Zimmerman. Alderman Pernaruski.
Here.
10 present, 5 absent.
So we have, I think Nugent is now on.
Correct.
I
I'm
think-
present.
Okay. And Alderwoman Weaver is now on. So we have those two present as well. They
All
just.
right, we have 12 present, 3 absent.
Oh. Okay. There you go. Okay. Okay, so we do have a quorum, although I don't think we need one. The only item on the agenda this evening is a public hearing for the purpose of providing information and receiving public comment related to the mayor's proposed 2021-2022 budget. Anyone who wishes to address the board with respect to the budget should have called in. We'll be calling back the speakers. When it's your time to speak, please state your name and address for the record. And for the budget hearing, there's a 15-minute limit, and I will give you a 1-minute heads up.
Seth Lopez. Is he here?
No, I don't think he's here. Okay. Speaker, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead.
Okay. Am I okay to speak?
Yes.
Okay. Martin Spring, 1400 Meriden Road, Waterbury, Connecticut. Am I here to speak on the budget for today, the public hearing? And,
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to say that the budget right now, I believe, in summary of the recommended capital budget, I believe is $34,087,788, if I'm correct. and that's for the fiscal year of 2021 to 2022. And what I was really concerned about is, when I spoke last time, I'm very concerned about, the infrastructure in the roads and everything, and the roads that need to be repaired. I know there's money allocated for that and sidewalk repair. And I know, like even up and down different parts of the street, if you will, in Waterbury, especially in downtown area, we have to get the roads fixed. In other words, they have to dig up the roads and they have to go and fix the sewers and the pipes and everything else. And I understand that costs quite a bit of money. I don't know if that's coming through the federal side of it or the state, most of it. But the thing is that, it seems to me that that's a lot of good things that are happening in Waterbury, and I appreciate it. But other things I look at that I don't understand, it's got a question mark over my head, and that is that right now that we're looking to spend more money for more raises for people, if you will, and to create more jobs with more money. And I'm trying to, wonder why are we doing this? Because if you look at the Waterbury Human Rights Commission, God rest his soul, Reverend Mallory was asking for the longest time, who was our past chair on the board, that he was asking for some kind of money to be allocated for the Human Rights Commission, and some type of a budget, if you will. And I agreed with him. I thought it was good because we could have had an investigator, we could have had an office, a phone, and maybe even have that manned by somebody. And that would have been something that would have been spectacular, especially now with a lot of things going on, with a lot of racial tension. Now, I'm going to read an article that was dated March 5th, written by a reporter, Mike Puffer, and I'm going to read a piece of it. The Human Rights Commission usually attracts little notice and enjoys little impact in city politics, but this obscure group is challenging an earlier decision by the Board of Aldermen to reject a resolution declaring racism as a public health crisis. Now, the reason why I bring this up, Mr. President, is because, right now we have a lot of issues here in the city of Waterbury. We have kids running wild in the streets with their ATVs and dirt bikes, as we know. And also, unfortunately, we do have some homicides and shootings. And, I just think now is the time to put some money, allocate some money, if you will, into the Human Rights Commission. Because why are we in existence if we can't even got a lot of experience to become an investigator or be investigator for the city of Waterbury? I know we got a website, and I know we also have, many other things with a complaint form and various different languages, and I appreciate that. But again, we're spending a lot of money on many other different things, like I said, for the roads, which need to be repaired, and the infrastructure within the city, and underground improvements, if you will. And I understand all this got to be done. But yet again, giving out money to people, in my opinion, that don't even live here, and I have nothing against that, but I just think it's a rough time right now. And I know, you guys that are on the Board of Aldermen, especially on the minority side of the aisle, you'd probably say, hey, maybe Martin's right, and I'm not speaking for the board. I'm speaking for myself as a Waterbury taxpayer, and I wouldn't mind seeing the money, again, going into something that I think that would serve the city well, especially with what we had a lot of racial tension going back in 2018, 2019, and 2020. And it's something I think you guys should look into again. Again, we can have some money put in, and I was looking at is start off with at least $50,000, which is minimal compared to what we have with the budget of a almost $35 million budget. And I know the Board of Ed gets quite a bit of money, but it would be nice if we could, you people could take that in consideration and maybe work with the Human Rights Commission and find out exactly what we need and what we could use, because this is something that I think is vitally important for the city of Waterbury. And, there's many other things you can be doing too, but, there's something, I know we only got 15 minutes, but I just had to get this off my shoulders. I mean, if you guys could think about this, the Reverend Mallory, God rest his soul, was asking you guys, ladies and gentlemen, going way back when, I've been on the board almost 20 years, and I'm grateful to be on the board. And, the Reverend Mallory's been coming in for a long time asking if we can have a private investigator, or an office, or a phone, or anything, a laptop, or, an answer machine, or anything we can have to work with the people in the city of Waterbury, especially when people have complaints. Like people had complaints up there in Berkeley Heights, and people had complaints in other housing projects. And we know that. We know the complaints been filed, and they probably went out and got even some lawyers. But the city of Waterbury, we'd be more than willing to work with the city on many of these issues, and have like I said, a part-time investigator, and have that person go out. And obviously, that person's going to have a lot of experience. And it wouldn't be me; it would be somebody that's got an awful lot of knowledge in this, situation here in that area. And so, again, I was hoping that maybe you guys can turn around and members of the Board of Aldermen and ladies and gentlemen and the people listening, and maybe, we could work together to do something. Again, I'm not speaking for the Human Rights Commission, even though I'm the chairman on the board. I'm just speaking as a private citizen here, and I'm just advocating my First Amendment right, if you will. Again, because to me, it's very important, vitally important for us to work together with this administration and to work with many people. And, again, another thing I was wondering if we're going to be doing the budget and everything, that maybe there's a lot of other things that we're looking at, even in Waterville, because my wife was telling me today, when we went and did our ceremony the other day, we do need improvements, and I know a lot of improvements are being made throughout the parks, and I know we only have so much amount of money to be spent, because we do have some repairs that need to be done in Waterville Park, especially where the Christmas tree is. There's right now, the cement is falling apart, and the asphalt, and that's got to be fixed. And right going up to the monument, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but that's got to be fixed too. But again, and I understand that we need a lot of money for the schools and education and many other things, and the police department wants some things done for them, and I agree. And I think that if there is some money allocated in the budget, maybe the police can get all-wheel drive vehicles. And I remember mentioning a long time ago, even with the fire department, if they could have smaller vehicles, because, it's hard for the firemen to get around with these big fire trucks, apparatuses, if you will, to drive all around the various neighborhoods, especially in the wintertime. And that's why I was allocating to have that in the budget last time, and nobody ever got back to me. And it would have been nice if we could have turned around and got SUVs or something like that. But I guess the fire department and the union didn't want to go along with it. But again, it's just, I do appreciate everything you guys do, and I was just hoping if you could even find it in a way in your heart, if you can, to do something for the Human Rights Commission, especially putting some money aside for our commission. So the city obviously would go out and look for somebody to be an investigator. Obviously, we would help you guys and work with you, but I don't think any of our commissioners would want to be an investigator. I know I most certainly wouldn't. I don't have that expertise. But again, if we guys can turn around and try to find some money to put in allocate money from the budget for us, do something, because again, we have this board that's in place, and we're supposed to be doing a lot of things to help people around the city of Waterbury. And I just think right now, with our board, it seems to be a little bit obscured. And with all due respect, it seems like when I spoken to some members of the Board of Aldermen, they felt the same way. They said, Martin, what did you guys do in the last 15, 20 years, or 10 years, or 5 years to allocate us to put some money in the budget for you guys? And I said, well, you know what, if we had some investigator, if we had an office, if we had a few things happening for us, rather than go out and trying to raise some money, I mean, it would be a good thing to do for us. And so with all the things going on and the racial tensions all over the country and the state of Connecticut, and thank God we don't have a lot of racial tensions in Waterbury, but I mean, let's put the lid on it and let's all work together. That's all I'm saying. And maybe we could meet later and talk about it. But I know you, Board of Aldermen, you all have a good heart and, you really want to do what's right for Waterbury. So I know I brought this up before, but again, the person that championed all this was Reverend Mallory, and he's the one that really wanted to get something done with the Waterbury Human Rights Commission. So, I mean, if we can work together on that, I don't want to repeat myself. I know I have a bad habit of doing that, but it's really hard because I'm not in front of you guys. I'm talking on the phone. I'm getting some feedback over here, and so I feel like I'm talking to somebody and not listening, and I'm not saying you guys aren't listening. It just has to get a lot of feedback on my phone, and I don't know what's up with that, okay? But again, let's try to put everything in perspective and let's move forward. And especially with the Waterbury Human Rights Commission, I mean, it'd be a good thing to do something because we gotta do something, especially now this day and age. And so I want to tell you people, thank you for your time, and let's work together. And maybe you could add that in the budget, and maybe not this budget, but the budget next year, and we could all put something together that we're all going to agree on. And I thank you for your time. Thank you very much. Good night.
Hello?
Hi, go ahead, speaker.
Hi, Thomas Pelletier, 112 Concord Street. I'm calling in regards to the mayor's budget proposed for this year. I would ask that you guys support this budget. It's a very balanced budget. It's a budget that meets the needs of the city for this year. And it's a budget that, like every other budget that this administration has put forward, spreads out the pie to everybody as much as it can. Thankfully, it seems with some of the monies coming in from the federal government, we might save some money this year. But at the end of the day, this administration has continued to do what it has since it took office, meeting with department heads, seeing where the immediate needs of the city are, and seeing what it could do for each part of the city and each part of the department. Not everybody wins, at the end, but that's what negotiations are about. And luckily, we've had an administration that's done more than its fair share, along with the aldermen, to make sure that we're taking care of the needs of each department in the city. This budget also has a lot of paving projects, which are greatly needed in the city. And I know that everybody will be excited to see streets getting paved. It's the most aggressive street paving project that this administration's taken on in a few years. So I give kudos to that and kudos to the administration. Also, it includes money going towards our infrastructure that, luckily, thanks to this administration putting money into our infrastructure in the last few years, we haven't had some of the problems that we had when this administration first came in with water main break after water main break. Thankfully, this administration did everything in its power to invest in our infrastructure. For that, I think the citizens of the city should be grateful. Also, it has saved money in some areas. And, I just got to give kudos to our budget team that works very hard on this. This is a 7-day-a-week process for some of those people that have been working on this with the administration. And, the last few years, for the people that say that we're spending too much money in certain areas and not doing enough in others, I would have to totally disagree. And you just got to drive around the city. There's improvements in every part of the city. It doesn't all happen overnight. If it did, we would want that magic wand. But thankfully, this administration has done everything in its power to make sure that each part of the city gets something out of the pie every year. So I would like to thank this administration. I would like to thank you, Aldermen, that work so hard. This is a very strenuous time for you to make decisions. But if it hasn't been broke the way that this administration has put budgets together in the past, why try and fix something that it hasn't been broke in the past? So I would ask tonight that you pass the mayor's proposed budget in your future meeting. Thank you very much.
That's it. Okay, there's no further speakers this evening, so this being a public hearing, there's no further business. I would just remind everyone that we will take up the budget at our regular meeting a week from yesterday, June 7th at 7 o'clock. So with that, enjoy the nice weather we're supposed to get for the rest of the week. We had a lousy weather weekend, but enjoy the weather that's coming up. It's supposed to be nice, I think, for the rest of this week and through the weekend. And we'll see you all on Monday night. Alderman Brunelli, is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion having been made and seconded by Alderman Martinez McCarthy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. We're adjourned, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, everyone.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Waterbury.
According to recent studies, 20 to 30% of fatal opioid overdoses could actually be suicides. It could even be higher than that. Suicide is complicated, and not everyone shows the same warning signs. If you're concerned about someone struggling with a drug problem or someone who may be at risk of suicide, I'm here to help you, and you could come see me. I'm Lieutenant Michael Stokes, and I'm with the Waterbury Police Department.